In this video, we're going to talk about laying out the guardrail for this project. And the first piece of guardrail is going to go in this area where we have the 7-foot wide widening, where it tapers from 0 to 7 and then 7 back down to the standard width of the guardrail widening width. We're going to place the guardrail right in this area here. And to show you this, let's go back to the manual. We're going to be placing this this guardrail head that has a 1 foot offset and then goes down to a 0 offset. We're going to place that in first on both sides of the roadway, and then we'll continue on to place the rest of the guardrail. And so if we stay in the manual, that's actually on it is step number went too far. Yeah, step number 20. And the first thing we need to do is we need to set up our feature definition. Now this feature definition is a special one where it will create a 3D automatically, which means it'll create a profile automatically, and it will use the feature definition template, which means it's using a template out of the ITL or the template library to create this feature, which is going to be the guardrail. So let's go ahead and set that up real quick. So here's my feature definition bar. Again, what we're looking for is guardrail type A right. And so if we start drilling down into the feature definitions, that's going to be under the design. It's going to be under design standards. Then it's going to be safety and structures. And then we're looking for the guardrail type A. And we're going to do the let's do the left side first, guardrail type A left. Again, we got to have this turned on. This is the active use active feature definition. We're also going to turn on the create 3D automatically, and also the use feature definition template. So once that feature definition is set, we're also going to use a tool called the variable offset taper, and we're going to use that tool in conjunction with our Civil AccuDraw. So we're going to toggle on Civil AccuDraw, and actually I'm going to pull that Civil AccuDraw on up. And the mode that we're going to use is going to be the station and offset mode in Civil AccuDraw. Then we're going to go to Task, Civil Tools, Horizontal Geometry. Then we're going to come down to the offset options in here, and we're going to click on that, and we're going to go to the third one down, which is the variable offset taper. Now the reason we're using Civil AccuDraw with the variable offset taper is if we did not use Civil AccuDraw, this variable offset taper, when you click on an element, uses the element's distance and does not use a station value. With the Civil AccuDraw, I can use the station value from the center line to help me accurately place this with a station value to define the limits of this line that I'm going to place. And so right now it says locate element, so we're going to locate the element. This is going to be the shoulder line, so we're going to pick the shoulder line. Actually, we're going to do the left one first, so let's go over here to the left side. We're going to pick the shoulder line, and you can see that it's trying to place it, and it's got some distances locked in there. We're going to unlock those, so you can see it's moving around on my cursor now. And it's got the correct start offset. Start offset was put in there at 1. The end offset's going to be 0, so I'm going to put that in there. And now it's asking kind of where we want to start this at. Now, I do have a station value, if I look back at the manual, we're going to start this at 69 plus 00 and go down to 6930. So how do I do that with this tool? And you can see it's kind of locked in again on the start and stop offsets. It's locked to the start again, so you got to be very careful how this gets locked in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab on down to the Civil AccuDraw section of this my heads up prompt, and in there I'm going to hit the O button, and now it's going to ask me to ask for a reference element, which is going to be my center line. And when I do that, you can see now I've got station values. So I can start this thing at whatever station value I want now. So I'm going to tab on down, and then I'm going to type in 69 plus 00. I'm going to lock that in, You can see it's locked in there. And then I'm going to go down to my where it's got an offset. It's already locked in at the offset, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And now we're going to place the end station, which is going to be 69 plus 30. I'm going to lock that in. Again, offset on this one really doesn't matter because I got it locked in on the value that's above the station reading. And once I lock that in, I can go ahead and left click to place that. And you can see that I got my guardrail here, and it looks kind of like it's got some interesting blocks out there. All you have to do is hit the, if you look in the instructions, you can hit the F4 view and it'll get rid of those blocks. Now the other thing I've got out there is it looks like it's all filled in, and what's happening there is I've got a construction view turned on. So I'm going to go to my view number 2. I'm going to go to my attributes here, my view attributes, and I'm going to turn off construction. And you can see what that guardrail now looks like. So if I rotate that around, you can see the guardrail. All right. Now it does look like we have an issue where our offset went the wrong way. So what you can do, I'm going to hit F4. You can actually go into this element here. I'm going to make this view active. I'm going to click on it. You can see I went to a 1 foot offset, which went the wrong way. I'm going to type in a -1 foot and see if that'll adjust, and sure enough, it adjusted right on the fly. All right. Let's take a look at that in the model view here. Looks good. All right. So now we're going to do the right side. Again, our feature definitions is all set up nice. We've got our civil AccuDraw going. All we need to do is go down. I'm going to make this view active. I'm going to go grab that variable offset tool again. Again, it's wanting us to locate the element to place this guardrail off of. We're going to do it off the edge of shoulder line again. We're going to click on it. Again, if you have any start distances locked, unlock them. Our start offset, we're going to do a 1 foot this time. We're going to the right, so we're going to change that to a +1. We're going to accept that offset of, actually we're going to come up, yeah, there it goes. We're going to, we want it to be a +1. Now it depends which side of the cursor you're on. If you're on this side, it's positive. If you go on this side, it's negative. So just be aware of that. So I'm going to be on the right location. Now before we place this, I'm noticing something, that our guardrail blocks are on the wrong side, and that's because we got the wrong feature definition. So I'm going to hit F4 real quick. I'm going to go up and change it to a guardrail type A right. Still turned on. All the items are turned on still. I've got my civil AccuDraw still going. I'm going to go to task once again. Pick on that variable offset taper. Start offset's going to be 1. End offset's going to be 0. It's asking for us to pick the element. Again, edge of shoulder. That's looking better on the shoulder. I've got my civil AccuDraw turned on now. And we're going to start that at 69 plus 00. The focus in that field is in the correct location, so I'm going to do 69 plus 00. It's locked in. Again, offset on that tool or on the civil AccuDraw really doesn't matter because that's going to be overwritten by the offset that's in the actual tool itself. So we can go ahead and start that, and then we're going to go down to a 0 offset, and the station for that's going to be 69 plus 30. It's all locked in. We're going to left click and place that. and you should get some guardrail on the other side of the roadway. Again, if you get these tall blocks like what we're seeing out there, all you have to do is hit the F4 key. Okay. Now we're going to place guardrail the rest of the way down, or most of the way down this roadway, and that's going to be in the next step. If we look at it, we're going to slide on down. We're going to do the left side first, and then on the next page we'll do the right side. So we're just going to use these values here. Again, we need to use Civil AccuDraw to get the station values from the center line to place these with these start and end station values. So since we're going to do the left side, again, we got to switch back our feature definition to the guardrail type A left. We're going to use Civil AccuDraw. It's turned on. We're going to go to the task. This time we're going to use a single offset partial. Not the single offset entire element, but the single offset partial. It's going to ask us to locate the element. We're on the left side, so we're going to pick this edge of shoulder line. The offset that we want for this tool, we want this to be 0. You can see it's locked in on the heads up prompt, and for the start station we want this to be 69 plus 30. Once that's done, you can just left click to accept that, and now we're going to type in the end station. Again, we're going to leave it at the 0 offset, and where we want to end this thing at is at a station 71 plus 80.11. You can see it's drawing it out there, and all we got to do is left click to place it. If you look in your 3D view, there should get guardrail almost all the way down, and then we're gonna finish this off by placing a little piece to tie it into the barrier. All right. The next step, we're going to do that, finish off that little piece right here with a variable offset taper. Again, still using Civil AccuDraw, still using the left guardrail type A. So we're going to go into our task one more time. This time we're going to go down to those the offset tools again. We're going to click and hold, and we're going to go to the variable offset taper. Okay, variable offset taper. I'm going to put in my two offsets. We're going to start with an offset of a negative 0.5, and then we're going to do an end offset, or sorry, we're going to do a start offset of 0, and then go to a negative 0.5. Okay. Again, I'm going to turn on Civil AccuDraw, and the first thing it's asking for is locate the element, and we're going to locate the shoulder line again. I'm going to turn on Civil AccuDraw. It didn't let me do it before because I wasn't in a it was asking me for something else, so I'm going to turn that on and keep it on. And it's got the start offset in there correctly. The station value that we want to key in is at 71 plus 80.11. It's drawing it to the right location. Offset doesn't matter with the Civil AccuDraw offset. Then we're going to go down to station, and we got the end offset in there. We're going to go down to station 71 plus 98.49. We're going to lock that in. It's got the right end offset. The Civil AccuDraw offset again doesn't mean anything. It's going to be overwritten. We're going to left click to accept that, and you should get a guardrail in your 3D view. And again, we got the funny looking blocks. I'm just going to hit F4, and that looks good. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing in the next video on the right side.